reason, in this county, it doesn't seem to be a problem with executive speaking. I don't know, it doesn't seem to be a problem. No one's handling it, no one really talks about it. And it's been brought up multiple times. So we just keep kicking the can on the street as long as we can. But we're fine. We're going to be fine. We're just now strong and we're going to continue that. So that's what that can say. That's the problem. And they want to talk about it and want to make a meeting with the executives of the county. I have no problem talking because I know I don't hold anything back. People should know what's going on with EMS in the state. And I have no problem talking about it.
Well, as I said, I'll reach out personally, and all three freeholders, I know them all fairly well. I'll put a bug in their ear and keep after them. Even some of our higher up legislators, I get stuff from Congressman Gottheimer all the time, he's out of our district, but, as I said, there's people we can talk to, not that it'll do much good, but at least express our concerns. I mean, this is a real problem.
I've done it. I mean, I'm a very proactive person. I don't wait until things fall apart. I want to be, on top of stuff on a regular basis.
I want to be proactive, not reactive.
Correct. And I have my other job, I work 60 hours a week, and I have this. So I have a lot of things going on.
A job that pays the bills.
I got a job that pays the bills, and some for sure.
I guess one other possibility, maybe just from the equipment standpoint, I know like I represent Belvedere for what the example, and I don't know, the fire department example, not EMS, although they're partially privatizing, I think they're gonna have a profit piece of their EMS to try to build that back.
They're trying to, but everything costs money.
Yeah, I think they're coming along with that though, and they are increasing the membership, but like in Belvedere, they share the cost of the fire truck with White Township, because that truck services, residents in both. And one thing, again, maybe that will come through from Phillipsburg to us surrounding municipalities, but I mean, it's certainly possible or feasible to help you guys with an equipment purchase, which maybe would allow you to use some of your budget for other issues.
We're not tied into any other fire departments,
No, I'm saying, but we as municipalities
Come together and
come together and I agree with each other to equipment, and I think that would be the best way for you to have, take the resources, like you said, you might have to find a piece of equipment down, a van next year.
Right.
If we as municipalities go all pitch in and get that for you, then that's money you can use elsewhere. And you seem pretty darn organized. If you want to start that discussion.
We're very organized. We're
And,
much as
it's a great discussion to start now because, this council and every other council in this county, as you know, will start getting temporary budgeting together next year. But I think that would be the most direct way we could maybe enhance our support. And I say we, I'm talking about everybody in the service together. And I think you probably lost.
Let's talk about the your towns to figure it out. I'm all ears for anything that we can do. I know that we're a very positive squad, and we always come on top and try to fight and have volunteers and training and in-house training that we have, and paid staff, whatever we can do, we do. But volunteers are very, very thin. And then when it comes to even the fire department, we have to do more and more hours every year. The state gives you more hours. The state's giving us paid fire. They don't care about the volunteers per se. And they say, okay, now fire the school is whatever, 180 hours, now 200 hours. What they can't do, they calculate that over the same thing with EMS. You take a volunteer as first thing with CPR, they got to go 6-7 months of course with EMT, it's college. So you got to be capable and on books to have some starting out marketing, now this, now that, now this. Which you need that training, but for a volunteer to retain that, to work full time, go to class part time, take a test 8 months, not have your stuff. It's a lot of work. It's not there was a long time ago, all you needed was 2 first responders. That's all you needed. You needed a CPR person and first aid
hear it every day, it's because they have the nursing homes, they have a lot of facilities that are in need of emergency services, and that was one of my concerns, is they're just dropping out, and who's gonna pick up the slack?
And, you know, I gotta say, I got a day's notice. I know it's not a day's notice. It's over 8 PM till 8 AM. And then 21st is 24 hours. I was days notice, like, how do you guys drop it? We be keeping the drop all the time, it's just not right. It's very frustrating. We're all 20 years. And my vice president, 23 years, and it's just, we keep getting this more and more work, more and more work, more and more, and I got, it's a lot. I do work at work, it's fine. Well, they like to be with my work.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you.
Yeah, I have one. What kind of networking have you done with Warren County Community College to seek volunteers?
We used to do that, we got a higher rate of dropout. We had to pay about $2,500 per class. So, you had a high dropout rate, when they almost got to the end, or the middle, and they would drop out, the schooling, and then we would have to pay, we would have, in the day up, we would put out $2,500. So we kind of, on Facebook, we're going to do a Facebook ad, we're going to do a billboard again, we're going to get involved, we're going to do Wawa, and Quick Check, where they, corporate doesn't allow it, but put a table outside of their establishment for volunteers. I had the volunteer committee that put together last week. So we're trying to understand, if I bring in 20 people tomorrow, it's taking a year to train one truck. People in the truck, as a first responder, they can't administer or really do anything legally.
Can you take volunteers though to do other like office work and stuff like that, and they don't need to go to training?
The office work really comes on me, it's a lot of it's confidential, payroll stuff that the office secretary does, part-time, she's doing it for 38 years. But she does all that, and a company does all the payroll. But a lot of things that office related is confidential, private accounts and other
I was thinking data entry or something, and that might be one way to get somebody in, and then they see what's going on, and it's on, they decide to.
We have a lot of people who are interested, that's for sure. They're very interested in volunteering, but when you get to the meat and potatoes of the bookwork, they, I don't want to pass that thing. It's this. I don't want to. Same thing with the fire department with volunteers. I gotta do 200 hours, whatever it is now, that's a lot, and I'm it's becoming an issue, we'll get through it. We'll work on it, but I understand your concerns, I do, because I was concerned myself. But we'll get it done.
Any other? Thank you very much for coming out, taking time from your personal career here and addressing our concerns.
If you need to come back and call, I'll meet you with my cell number again, and I can come back in, if you want to get the town together, and we'll discuss it, we'll correct whatever, we discuss it. But don't panic now, everything's fine. We'll work on it.
All right, very good. Thank you. Take care. Okay, moving on. Mr. Margulies and Mr. White, in regards to the Middlesbrough General Store.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Most of you know me. I'm Mike Margulies. I'm an architect locally. Also sit on the Historic Preservation Commission, on the Historical Society, and with some other great officers and volunteers. With our 25th annual House Sportsman and Outfitters Club. But anyway, I've been retained by Stone Street Preservations. That's the owner of the general store down in Regalsville, to be their architect and kind of council advisor. As some of you know, it was purchased at auction, I think 14 years ago, 13 years ago, something to that effect. So basically, I am getting involved as of July. I was introduced to the project in August. I kind of got reintroduced to it. So what I'm doing is I'm advising them on how to kind of move forward with the project, get something done. What we're doing now is we are investigating ways to link up with some investors. We have some developers that are interested. I'm talking to 2 developers right now who are potentially interested in it. We have a third that contacted us. We're also looking at exit strategies to actually figure out how to sell the building. If just people like to list it, for instance, for sale by owner, put a sign out there. What I am doing personal is I went in there as the architect, did an assessment of the building, along with my structural engineer and masonry conservator. So we're coming up with an approach to stabilize the building. For people who have looked in the window, you might know that the second floor partially collapsed. There's two structural issues inside, which are not compromising the building as a whole right now. They will be in the short term, so that's what we're kind of trying to figure out how to alleviate that. So we would be reinforcing the structure, and then the building envelope, the roof was partially repaired. There was, at the time of the auction, there was a requirement to restore, I believe, the roof, windows, and doors in a certain time period. What the group did is the group did most of the roof restoration. It was built on a gutter system, so there were like outriggers that held the gutter system that was inside the roof, which was too costly to repair at the time. So they did a temporary fix on that, which is the part that you can see blowing in the wind. The majority of the roof is now fixed, or was fixed, I think, 2007, a while ago. Anyway, 2009. So the majority of the roof is watertight. We're trying to figure out an approach to the other part of the roof, and then windows and doors and the rest of the building envelope is something that we'll be addressing as well in the near future. So I think what we're coming to you today for was because there was a concern, there were letters written from council to send some reservations. So I wanted to say that I'm now kind of involved with it. We're doing an assessment to figure out how to move forward. I'm also in touch with the building department, because the building department also has looked at the building. So I'm talking to Greg and Red, and keeping them in the loop with how we're proposing to move forward on that as well.
I mean, yeah, I think the council asked me to check the letter, and it's not the first go-around on this, it's the third notice, but this is, the map is auction, there's a fairly long detailed deed restriction in there, and about timeframes that have gone years since passed. And I think one of the regretful things, we talk about partial township inside, that building was in much better condition when it was auctioned off, and the intent was to preserve it, and move forward from there, instead it's going backwards for decades. So I think the council instructed me to send that letter to Kirk, and so as well, Stone Soup, like I said, Stone Soup's the owner. That we kind of really, that's great, you're doing all that stuff, Mike, and you're great stuff, I know everybody here knows you, and I do as well. It's great that you're on, so we really need to have whatever to share with us in terms of the assessments and some definite time frames for a minimum stabilizing, the leaks and getting it so at least doesn't get worse. That's the concern, because frankly, if they got to put on the letter to council, first we got to want it and we'll give it back. But we have the ability to get preservation money. It's an entrance point to the township. It's a beautiful township. Could be a beautiful building there. I just want to see it not fall apart.
I couldn't agree more. One of the reasons I'm involved, because I have nothing to do with Stone Soup preservation, is I kind of reached out to them getting developers interested, because I'm trying to do a lot to rebuild the as a whole. So I'm trying to facilitate groups a little bit with those guys. We're getting the railroad station rebuilt. So the railroad station actually should start construction this fall. We construct the station in 1968. So we'll have that as the entrance way there. So we're trying to pick up the whole township. So I've been approaching actually all of the owners there along the kind of the little village in that area, which one of them reached out to Stone Soup preservation from the beginning. So I agree.
I'm just wondering if Stone Soup is eligible for maybe some county historic grant on that stuff, or?
They are not, I looked into that because it's privately owned, it's not a public entity, they're not eligible. But what I did also do is I started the federal tax credit. So, for public individuals, you get funding and grants, private, you get tax credits. So, because it's eligible for listing on the National Register of Historic Places, I set up the first stages of the federal tax credit program. So people putting money into it with a 20% return on the investment that goes into it. So it's the way to incentivize kind of restoring and rehashing historic buildings. So that's important.
That makes it more attractive for any developer that
That's
wants to
right.
come in and
That's the thing. You get someone who comes in who has a lot of money, you get to take the tax credit, and that kind of balances out their income returns on the investment.
Mike, you looking at it as a, professional architect, it's not a building down redemption.
It is not, and I was
That's
quite
the key for us.
Right. Quite frankly, I was concerned with that, which is why I just brought in my structural engineer and the conservator, and when we all walked through, we all agreed it was not beyond repair, so we do have a strategy that we're kind of coming up with, a way to stabilize it. So,
Fortunately, Steve's not here tonight. Steve is big into restoration.
Yes, and I did talk to him.
Oh, yeah, okay, good, because I know, I mean, this is a, I think Steve was mayor back when you might have done that auction.
That's right.
So,
He was.
I have an intimate, and Mary, I know, was here too, I think.
Well, I was there.
That's right.
So it just got to the point where I think they felt, well, we want to work with you, I think, but I think they felt it was getting to the point where I had to write the letter as the attorney just to show what certain level of seriousness.
And I'm actually glad you did. So, and what I would ask
I
for is...
tried to not be too vicious.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. And what I would ask for is 60 days to come up with a plan to present to council so that we show a clear pattern going forward, to show what we're doing, who we have contacted specifically, like what intention there is up there, what the actual
So that
recommendations
makes
are.
them,
That's right, if we didn't, then
also,
we, yeah.
And I don't think there's any type of occupancy restrictions on that. And I'll tell you one other thing, and it's funny, we had it on the agenda for the old Shimer School. We're declaring that this evening an area of redevelopment. Now, that we work for our planner, to the planning board, but, you know, whether it's this building down there or any of the others you're talking about, Mike, you know, if you guys feel that redevelopment designation would be useful, because then, of course, you can get it with a tax issue.
Yes.
If you think that's, please email us, get back to us with that. We could get Jim Kyle involved. I think that would be a fantastic thing, because again, pilot is great for developers, it's great for the town.
One developer was actually asking about that.
If you have something like that, I would highly recommend it.
We entertain it.
Absolutely. So, anything we can do that. Sorry, go ahead, sorry.
I have faith in you, I know what you've done with Shimer now.
We're trying.
Did you have success at the meeting on the mansion?
We did, a little quick side note, but we met with the municipal charitable, we're up to the grant for the Shimer Mansion. So it looks pretty favorable, there isn't enough money, I think, this year to give our grant that we're asking for, so that will move us to the inside. We've pretty much done roof, windows, doors for the most part, building envelope stabilization since it's dry. So we're moving to the inside next to the utilities. So I think we were talking to gas companies, so we're getting gas lines moving the building, we're bringing them brought in new underground electric. So we have to run up to the building, and we have to run new water to the building and new sewer from the building. So those are the things we're doing next with this grant.
I wanted to go, but I couldn't.
Yeah, there's always something going on. But the plan is to open it partially for a gallery for local artists in October 2020, so one of the year, and open for next year's tax tour, the 26th. So that's the plan.
Just getting back to the general store.
Yes.
For your plan, I'd like to see a project plan. You know, what stages, just because the challenge we have is such a prolonged period of time with a lot of wait and see. So I think we can see details, including if you, again, as Kevin pointed out, if you have investors interested in redevelopment, that's something we can easily entertain. But we need to see tangible evidence that things are moving forward. You are personally to that, you see that you're involved now, but I'd like to see that continue. So when you do come back in November, a full project plan of what's going to happen in the state.
Understood.
And it would be unreasonable for us to ask them past that quarterly updates, every 3 months, every 6 months.
That's fair,
That's fair, I mean, that's not, that we're cooperatively,
right?
I don't want to.
we don't, that's not, okay, so, yeah, we're not here to.
But as I said, any conversations between investors or whatever that you have, you know, if they want to reach out to the township, we're more than be willing to talk, you know, entertain whatever, anything that, you know, they're looking for, we'll talk, right, guys?
And I don't think, like, do you have a copy of the full deed with all the restrictions?
We do, the
Okay.
LLC does.
Okay, you know, because I have looked at so many years, but I don't believe there's any use restriction. There's some historic restrictions.
That's right.
We had renovation covenants, and that's really what my letter was about, but I think there's a fairly enormous flexibility down there.
So we can do it.
And so redevelopment, yeah, redevelopment would absolutely, it helps, would definitely be.
Right.
And maybe since you're involved down there, you know, it's nice to do more than one parcel. If there's several, we'd be happy to talk to you about that. I know our planner, Jim Kyle, is a big believer in that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a win-win for community developers, so please come back to us with store and any other sites down there, and we will definitely think
There are 2 sites down there.
I believe, I bike down there all the time. It's a pretty beautiful area.
Terrific.
All right, thank you.
November.
Thank you very much, we'll see you in November. Oh, okay, we have some resolutions before us, if everybody wants to glance over the resolutions, there's quite a few.
I just have one question about a resolution. Oh, the thing setting the 2019 salaries, we have an ordinance first reading for the salary range. So under the old salary ordinance, which we would have to follow until that gets passed, and the second reading and all that stuff, is that this, the resolution to the salaries,
Does the resolution extend beyond the band?
does it fall in line with the old ordinance?
For the positions, for most of them, they've already been changed, so, yeah. I mean, we've done it before this way, because we usually catch the mistakes.
Well, I understand, but I just want to make sure that the ranges are okay for them under the old, so that it's not in, what do you call it with them?
Is this retroactive? to
Yes.
January 1? So I think we're okay.
And we'll have the second reading.
And that second reading is on the same
Okay.
year. I think we're okay there.
All right.
Good catch. Yeah, that was...
Haven't talked about the mayor resolution.
The mayor resolution, that'll be a tax appeal settled. I think this is Jenny, the assessor, that is just part of the work. I sent you guys all the numbers. Just briefly, it would be, actually, they're withdrawing all their tax appeals for the prior 2 years and on a going forward basis, which is a great way to settle cases, so we're not writing any money back. We would be dropping down to 1.5 million for this year, actually. More than 18 being withdrawn, 19 would go from 1,117,000 to 1,500,000, and going forward in 2020, we would go to 890,000. That was after we looked at all their leases and everything, so that's based on their lease ratios and CAM and so on and so forth, and Jen did a really good job looking at those. It's not going to cost anything out of pocket. Going forward, it's going to come down a little bit. But, and then that is that one. And then the redevelopment at the very end of the list is what I mentioned earlier. The land use board reviewed City House plan, had a public hearing. That's for Shiner School. And the little property at the bottom of it, that used to be the gas station, that parcel is already also in it. And it's a non-combination development, and at that point, we could consider going back out to auction or whatever, down the road, finding like a developer like Mike discussed, partnering with, and that could be.
So if we were to pass the resolution tonight, I think to say that's the trend.
We just have to record the trend. I can take care of all that.
That's one month,
Yeah. Everything else,
All right, so,
There's 15, Mayor.
15?
Uh-huh.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have a problem taking all these resolutions together?
Okay, Gray? Melvin? Van Loo? Slack?
Yes. All right, we'll move on to ordinances. First reading, ordinance 19-04, providing funding for various general capital improvements. Kevin, can you give us a rundown on what that would be? That was the one where we had things that were outside of our budget, I believe, that I had reached. Kevin, you know, this would be the ordinance to fund some of the things that were not funded, correct?
Yeah, we need to have a capital resolution, capital ordinance in effect. And so I think there were two pieces to it. One was to release some old pieces that were used previously, and then the second one was funding capital resolution for 2019. The resolution is passed, canceled a number of old ones, and then the ordinance is to put it in effect the items in our capital
19-05 is to amend 2017 salary range ordinance for certain positions in the township of Cohasset. Donna, what exactly, can you explain that one?
Yes, sir. To save on advertising costs, the township and a lot of other towns adopts a salary range ordinance. So you establish from this amount to that amount, a long range, so that, and then every year they establish the salaries by resolution, so that doesn't have to be advertised. At this point, I think there's 5 positions that, because we've either increased their pays beyond the current range, decreased it, or changed people from hourly to salary, we have to amend the ordinance accordingly.
So generally, it's just a procedure type thing. that we
Right.
have to do.
It's basically, we have a box, and as long as we can add it, then our box, we have to change the ordinance. So we had to adjust the boundaries of the box this time, but for example, next year, we shouldn't have to do another one, if we stay within that,
Why is the land use board secretary, ratio so huge?
that's because of the previous.
Oh, that's...
And I had to lower it quite a bit from where it had been.
With the other one.
Well, I know that, but that's what I'm saying, is that max, 30,000, can't they have to pay it or not?
It really wouldn't be wise to, because it's just giving you options.
We don't have to go to the max, don't have
I understand that, but the fact that it's theirs,
Well,
when you've seen what's happened in the past.
That's where the salary was, though.
I understand that.
I know.
So why can't it go to the 100,000 instead of 30,000?
So with these two ordinances, we don't need to take any action other than we're okay.
And schedule the second, reading for the October meeting.
Motion then to, for first reading. I'll second that.
Okay. Ray?
Yes.
Melvin?
Yes.
Ann Lou? Fleck?
Yes. All right. Kevin, you want to help me with this? We have an ordinance for second reading, this evening, ordinance 19-03, an ordinance to release, vacate, and extinguish any and all public rights in and to unnamed alley.
This was the fire association had, the way this started was, there was an application, I believe, to amend their existing liquor license, to extend that license to property, adjacent property. The problem was, there's a public right-of-way between, some named alley, a public right-of-way in between the two properties. So, under the ABC regulations, that is not allowed to be extended, it basically requires 2 separate licenses. So, there was a request that we consider vacating the ordinance. Wayne prepared a description, because the alley doesn't seem to go anywhere, it would do much. So we introduced it on first reading, now the public hearing stage. So, at this point, we just want to take a motion to open to the public, hear what the public has to say, close the public hearing, and then there, once, we can have a discussion.
I'll make the motion to open the public hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Anyone that has any public comments in regards to this ordinance, come forward, sign in, and speak your piece, as I'd like to say.
On the piece, I don't really have a piece, I just have questions.
You're in luck because there's a representative here tonight from the fire company, so maybe we can get some answers for you, or the association, whoever we want to say, but go ahead.
Excellent. Good evening, my name is Kim. My question is why, well, the answer to the first question was why the alley needs to be moved in order for them to get their liquor license. So I have no problem with that, however, clearly I live in the neighborhood, and what's the future plan with the property on Center Street?
Just for my own reference, whereabouts in regards to the fire company are you located?
I am around the corner, but facing the property they just bought. That's 14
you're on center, your frontage is the center.
So if they want to extend their liquor license over to that property, does that give them the ability to have open alcohol containers freely anywhere on that lot? Because I live there, and I have children, as well as there are other families, and those streets, Maple, Center, and Hunt, are all inundated with kids going down to the park, which is right past the firehouse. So I guess my concern is, am I gonna open my front door and we're gonna have a cornhole tournament every weekend with cans of alcohol, where kids are passing through every day?
Well, outside the building, correct?
Well, that's not necessarily true, and that's a very fair question, and maybe one of the directors as well, but, I mean, it's really kind of controlled by the every liquor license application. Wanda has been doing this for a long time, and very meticulous, and does a great job. In fact, I give Wanda credit, she picked up this issue from the outset, saying, hey, it's an alley. So, but if that alley were vacated, since they own both sides, for that piece, the property would basically, there'd be no public right-of-way between, the license could be extended. If that map of the license includes outside, which some restaurants do, they have outdoor patios and things, I mean, technically, yeah, I think that could happen. So that's certainly, I mean, you could certainly have, people walking around with open containers on that property theoretically, and legally with a license. So I think, it's something we should probably discuss.
So my concern is where the firehouse is when they have their events. And I've been in the house 17 years. This is my first time meeting, obviously. And we've never had an issue, never had a complaint. I mean, my kids go to National Night Out the whole day. But when they do their events down there, there's no neighbors around. So there's the parking lots out front, the park is to the left. So if they're out there until 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, it doesn't necessarily affect the rest of the neighborhood. But if that filters out to 1403 Center Street, now you're in the middle of the block. It's not the corner, I mean, you're right there in the center of the street. You've got residential property on either side, as well as all along the opposite side.
Well, I think that's something we can address and talk about with
Kyle, I can talk about Kyle.
Yeah, why don't you come forward, Kyle, please, if you would, and maybe you can address some of these concerns that the resident has. And if I remember correctly, there's one other property between on the corner of Center and, what is it, Hunt here, that they
Yes.
don't own, they had expressed interest.
It's like really close, right?
Right. So there's three, I assume you're on the southern side of the property?
I'm across the street from the
Okay, oh, okay,
Tell us where you are.
Yeah,
Come on up.
I'm a visual kind of guy, I need,
You're the even number.
I am
You
14.
might want to copy on this picture.
So, okay, so let's see what I, so yeah, so I am, so here's the firehouse, this is the property the firehouse has acquired, and I'm over here.
okay.
So when I look out my picture window, I'm directly
You're
across from...
looking right across the street.
And this is, yeah, it wouldn't be big.
Yeah.
Right.
That's where it kind of comes close to
Fire
the
company didn't want it.
All right, so with that, now I have a better reference. Right, there's still a street in between, but I understand what you're saying. You can come out the front door and it's right here. Right, exactly. I was concerned that you were the corner lot there on the very corner, that you were right.
No, and I'm very surprised, I'm not, that's not my business.
Right. Have you reached out and said, hey, we're going through our concerns?
Honestly, no, only because we are friends, and I know the reason why they kind of let the company go, so I don't want to put them in that situation.
All right, so Kyle, you want to see if you can address any of the young woman's concerns here as far as open beverage containers outside and so forth and so on?
As to the association, owns the property, and our apartment residents rents from us into it. And, you know, our license is on every day. License is ATM Granny House. And I did to file for a social fair permit, and that can get denied at any time. But it goes from me to the state, and it goes through a channel. It goes to Chief Wanda, and I have to do it, yeah, to do it. But when we plan every day, turns out, at least something like that, we should have it. It's not like, it's gonna be something every week.
How many times have you applied for these permits, the social care permits in the past? So maybe that gives Kim an idea of,
So I already have the letdown of parade, cornhole tournament, anything where people are gonna be outside, and it's not just members, it's open to the public. That's when they apply.
Can I ask you a question? And I think, I don't know, maybe you mentioned this last time you were there, I don't know, but was it some intention to try to generate revenue for the association and or the department by using this as a banquet type of situation for like wedding receptions and stuff? Because that would really potentially increase the use of the property and that, I
So
think,
right now, we don't have any loans, because we used to hire staff in April. And
There are no plans to make, excuse me, but there, at this time, there is no definite plan, and that area is not large enough to put up a building to hold wedding receptions. Just, it's not gonna happen. That can't happen.
what do you want to do with it, Chief? Do you want things?
Right now, we have no definite plans, there's ideas being kicked around, you know, but, there's no definite plans, and whatever plans that the fire company would come up with would have to be done, architecturally, and then brought before the land use board, and then the land use board has the final say whether yes or no, that can be done or not. You know,
Well,
so,
the liquor license, though, they specifically asked to extend the liquor license to this property, Chief, so
Yeah.
theoretically, right out of the gate, I mean, at least members could be, I mean, you might not be able to use it for third-party banquets without site plan approval, I understand that.
right.
But it's conceivable, and you could have your cornhole tournaments and everything there, I guess, at this point, if the liquor license were extended.
Yes, yes, I'm not saying you couldn't,
Right,
okay?
okay.
And there again,
Right.
if you're applying for that permit, which I understand what you're saying, you know,
Right.
if you're applying for that permit for that particular area, then that permit can be denied. You know, if there's concerns from the public for that permit can definitely be denied, you know? So, and we're not saying we are gonna hold it.
Right.
You know, right now, there is no definite plans to do anything right there.
Is there any definite need then to vacate this alley at this point? Do you guys really care whether the liquor license is extended?
Well, it's just a procedure that gives us a direction to go, if we choose to go that direction. I mean, you know, everything depends on, capital. You know, we can't do anything without capital, all right? So, if you're looking to say, are you gonna put up a building someday? Maybe, I can't say you won't. Are you looking to say, are you gonna put in a pavilion someday for outside events? Maybe. You know, I won't say we can't, that we won't, but, you know, it's just, everything is capital. Nothing is gonna happen tomorrow, nothing is gonna happen the following week, you know, in that respect.
So then I would ask that, then why don't we hold off on moving this alleyway until there's a more definitive plan to what the association wants to do with 14 Oakland Cemetery? Would be my, again, not trying to be unsupportive, but, you know, taking into consideration that it is in the center of a residential neighborhood.
is it zoned residential?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be.
There'd be a use variance that would require a public hearing. for anything that goes outside of a residential use.
Well, let me ask you something, again, I'm the chief, I'm trying to figure this out right now. Let's say we, we didn't adopt this ordinance. Now, the association owns this property, and the firehouse is separate. Is it the same ownership, chief?
No, the association
Owns
owns the building.
So, could they get, are they entitled to a social affairs permit for this other building?
No, when they get a social affairs
It's under
permit,
their
it's,
existing license.
it's under their existing license,
Okay.
but it's allowing them to extend their premises outdoors
So
for a
they-
one-day event, like when they're having a wet down and they have a beer
So-
truck, and they have to say, we have people here that are checking that wristbands are issued only
So
to
the issue
people
is
over
that
21.
They would have to stop that extension at the outlet.
They have to stay where
But you
they
can't
are,
cross
they
the-
can't cross over to that.
Okay.
And the final say is I have to review everything, one has to sign off, and then I have to sign off.
If you say no, is ABC on that, or?
Yes.
No? Okay.
So, and every time they have, any time, not just the fire department, but if anybody wants to have, extend their liquor license, they have to draw out the plans, tell me exactly where it's gonna be, they have to tell me how they're gonna have control of 21 and older, they have to do all that, so it has to come across my desk.
So my view on this then would be legally, with all that having said, what the chief is saying, so if the chief, if we vacate this out, now that gives flexibility to the department to have a cornhole tournament or something for the members, if it's a members event, I get, or if it's a charity type of thing.
No, they can still have that, just no alcohol.
They can't,
No, if we vacate the alley, and they got the liquor license extended.
they still, no, they can't, so,
But-
they don't have a building over there.
Oh,
So if you
so-
vacate it, the way I see it,
Oh,
if you vacate the alley,
Okay.
right, it extends the liquor license. But that still has to come across to me.
Right.
That if they say, okay, well, we want to have it over in the yard of the other
Right.
property, well, then I have to look at, is that feasible for the neighborhood? Is it?
Exactly.
Right.
I
So
don't
that's
think
one-
so, Scott. I
Yeah.
think if we grant the liquor license, like if we vacate the alley and move forward with the liquor license, I think
They don't-
that we have to say exactly what is the licensed premises? How many square feet inside, and if we're saying it's just the yard outside, we wouldn't get the notice to approve an extended permit, because it wouldn't be an extension of their premise. It would already be approved as a licensed premises.
That's if it's approved with the outside allowed.
But that's what they want to do.
That's what they wanted, though, that's what I thought.
For
They
the
want-
liquor license you're talking.
Yeah, they want to eventually, the goal of vacating the alley is to allow the firehouse to expand their licensed premises to what I think is just for now, to use the yard, the backyard, to put up beanbags, skateboards, or whatever cornhole is. And then once that would become part of their regularly licensed
Yes,
thing,
that's correct.
we would never get the notice
It's only for
to extend licensed premises, because that would be
If it's
licensed
approved
premises.
that yard is allowed to be on.
Right.
But,
So if
okay,
it's
so,
contiguous property, right?
Yes, it has to be
If
contiguous.
you limit it to the house, new house, I'll get you 1 second, Bob. If you limit it to the house, and then you still have to go through the special permit process.
No,
well,
Why not?
no.
well, let me,
If it's limited to the structure, that means you're not encompassing the entire area. You're saying it's here, and it's all one piece of property, but that's where your license is in.
Right, but they have to, if they're...
But if you vacate the alley, it is contiguous.
But you need that to be for the house.
But it's outside of it. So like if it's, say, for instance, Ruby Tuesdays. okay? Ruby Tuesdays can't just, when they develop their property, they had to say, okay, well, we have outside seating.
Right.
This is approved to the liquor license. Well, the firehouse has their liquor license approved for the facility that it's in.
Right.
So if they're going to extend it, then we have to, the answer that we have to find out is, does that extend it to all property? That it's, you know what I mean, because if the alley's vacated, now it opens it up to the entire property.
Right, so,
But we have structures,
Sketch, Wanda, we don't have any control over the sketch, though. They get to pick how much they want to extend, right?
they ask us, and the governing body has to approve the
Okay.
liquor license transfer.
So that's part of it. So if they set a sketch right now that had the whole property, outside and inside, there is an old house on that, but they're in on that. We could have a hearing here and say, no, we're limiting you to just the inside, if you wanted to. The other thing I wanted to say is, even if it was everything, and we approved that, I would still advise Chief Rob to, or I would send the zoning officer out, I guess, at that point, that you would not be able to use that still for a private function if you didn't use it. Chief is right about that. So even if the whole property was licensed, it would only be usable for volunteers. You couldn't have a wedding day.
Potentially, then the members could.
At some point, if they can, for variance.
let's hear it. First of all, our liquor license does not allow alcoholic beverages outside the building premises, okay? We can't walk out the door with an open container of beer or alcohol, okay? So, anytime that we, would like to serve alcohol outside the building, okay, it's still on property, but it's outside the building, we have to come and get a special one-day permit. That's the only way we can do it. We can't, so if the properties were adjoined, all right, and now you're under one liquor license, okay, all that would allow you to do is if you put up a building there, okay, it would allow you to serve alcohol inside that building, not outside the building. So you can't just walk around the property with no container of alcohol.
Well,
But that's what I'm saying, yes, you have to come for a permit, and that's what Chief Rob was saying. If he doesn't feel it's good for the community, he would reject it. You don't get the permit, you can't do it. You're correct.
But you then, whatever, it's full, this is an event, or does it just go on the side of the chief?
Is there any public, there's no public notification that we ask, or that we know of, that we're required to do. It's not saying that we couldn't do it, you know.
See, my point is, I think Wanda's good. I think what happened, yes, your license right now is limited to the inside of your buildings, so we have control of social affairs. The application that Wanda received, you guys basically took a magic marker and encircled your whole existing property and the whole new property.
For an application we have in now,
The one that we weren't able to process because, yeah. So
Right.
I think what Wanda's saying is, the way you presented it to us, you are asking for an expansion of the license to outside on that piece.
okay,
Now, you could change that application and just circle a building, but I don't know if that helps you if you're gonna be knocking it down, if that was the intent, I don't know. So, I do think one is correct, you would be extending the jurisdiction of the license, which would eliminate
Right.
the mayor's permit control costs.
to the property.
Right, right.
Right, because every time the Quaker Steak and Loop wants to serve out on their patio, they don't have to come and see you.
Because that's in their
And cut what's in their plan.
And that's what they did, Chief. They submitted the
They have a
plan.
different type of license than we do. We have a club license, we do not have a public license.
You're private members only then.
No, private members and their guests.
Alcohol can be served,
Right, but even with
outside the building.
even the club license, though, Chief, if you got the license jurisdiction amended to include the outside, that club license would be now outside and inside.
No, our club license will not allow us to serve alcohol outside the premises. If there was two separate buildings there, okay, under the same club license, you can serve alcohol in this building and this building, but you can't walk between the buildings with an open container of alcohol.
Then why do we want to do a liquor license transfer?
Pardon?
Then why do you want to do the liquor license transfer? Because that's what I thought the intent was, Bob, I'm sorry.
We've floated different ideas of
what could possibly happen with this property. Okay, so this would allow us, this would just allow us,
But the ABC likes you to be very specific about how many square feet you are, like if, you know, if the area behind the bar, if there's an office that you're not storing alcohol, they want a really detailed map drawing of exactly where alcohol is going to be stored, where it's going to be served, what's off. So, is the cart before the horse? Like, really vacating the alley, we've done that a million times, and it doesn't affect anybody, the property owners get it. It's the issue of the,
but they still have to, if the alley's vacated,
yes.
they still have to, they've applied for the liquor license to expand. That still has to go through and be approved. Even if the alley's vacated, it doesn't automatically just say, okay, we transfer to both properties now.
Well, I think that the reasons for vacating the alley go beyond the liquor license.
Yes.
Right, that's what I'm saying, it's not the same
We have
thing.
multiple properties on the street that are using this alley, that it's not open, it hasn't been formally accepted, and people are using it for private uses. And on top of that, the fire department, you know, it's basically, it's being acting as their driveway, but it's still municipal land. You know, it prevents, it creates a divide between the properties regardless of what they want to do. I mean, I would say, like, put the liquor license issue aside, to me, it's good
It's two
planning to
separate
vacate
things.
an alley that, you know, divides two properties in common ownership. And again, for all the other properties on the street that utilize that land with, you know, without full rights, for land that the township will never utilize.
And I agree with all about the issue with the alley, but as a resident of the neighborhood, that will affect then what's going to happen to the change of hands of the property. So I think ultimately it will affect the residents in this town.
Because that's the barrier from the liquor license expansion of premises, that's why.
Oh, Patty wants to make comments. Yeah, I got it. Just have a-
Come on up.
Okay, sign in, please. Sign in,
They have a
please.
residential house. They can't just start using residential houses.
Yeah.
Anything like that's got to be
I'm Patty Smith, and I live at 292, and we were right next to the firehouse parking lot. I have the same concerns that you have. By my understanding from what I'm hearing is by vacating the alley, it extends, it would in essence extend the whole liquor license for the association to the entire property, which would include, right now, include that dwelling that's on the property. So that would enable the association to use, currently use that dwelling for
It would be like any
consumption of
liquor
liquor.
license. It comes before us, like when Bourbon's
Without any
expanded
change
their premises.
in
They
license.
filed a 3-page app, I give you
That
a
would
copy.
be within
Would you review
the
it?
structure, even though it's not the firehouse building, it's within, it's not, you know,
That
outside.
house that they want to extend it to is a residential.
I don't think
It would have to
from
go
a land
before the land use
perspective,
board.
I don't think
first,
that house
anyway.
can be utilized as anything other than a house today without an application to the board. It's a residential zone, you know, I believe there's rights, you know, I'm sure we have something about public uses like, you know, fire departments to utilize that space, but for it to not be a residence, I still think that's a change of use. It may be a permissible change of use, it still requires them to come to the board and actually have whatever that plan they want to do there approved by the land use board. So I don't, again, I think we have two separate issues that are being combined. A liquor license issue, a use of that building is totally separate than the vacation of the alley.
And I disagree, because the issue of the alley arose because the association wants to extend their liquor license. So I think you have to consider that.
But that would require them to come back and seek those approvals. I think, well, you know, at least what the council should do is evaluate the vacation of the alley as a completely separate issue, because any of the liquor license issue, the land use issues, those are not actual applications that are before you.
So would the residents of the town then be notified if a liquor license is going to be
If, to the land use board, your 200-foot property owner, you would receive notice that they were proposing something. You would get a letter, a certified letter in the mail telling you exactly what it is that they were applying for, and tell you the date of the meeting that will be before the land use board. I don't know about the liquor license.
So to answer your question specifically, just because the alley is vacated does not grant them anything. Okay, they still have to apply for the liquor license, and you mentioned that. And to Wayne's point, which more, as a land use board member, I can tell you, because it's a change of use variance going from residential to whatever it may be, that does need to go to the planning board, land use board, and because you're within 200 feet, you would be notified by a certified letter for the public hearing to then give comment and weigh in on whatever that use may be. So that, because that, we do appreciate, and that's not POACOM, that's municipal land use law, saying you're within 200 feet, this impacts the quality of your residency, therefore you need to be notified.
And, I mean, they wouldn't be able to do anything without a site plan or without some kind of general, and they couldn't just come to the board and say, this is what we think we want to do. You know, they need to have some kind of, plan to bring forward.
So what was the petition then? What was the reason to, vacate the alley?
But vacating the alley, it combines our properties, okay? It just makes it easier for liquor license, okay? If that property is adjoined with ours, for future, whatever it may be, if we decide.
And that's why I said, I think
Right.
we need to consider both together, because the point of vacating the alley is for that, so.
I mean, this is the first step they need to do. If they can't get the alley vacated, it's pretty much dead in the water, right, Bob?
Yes.
This is the first step they have to do in order to proceed. But
I also don't agree with the premise of that this is just about the liquor license. So what I heard from Wayne, who's our professional, he's not.
And I'm not trying to be difficult at all, but I guess.
No.
I guess then my question, or I propose to council that when there's a more definitive plan of what they're gonna do with that property, why not table the ordinance until they have a more definitive plan, and when they can collectively as an association say, this is what we're thinking of doing.
I think though, they can't, they have to have this as the first step, because if this would not happen, anything they would plan ahead would be null and void without this happening.
But I guess what I heard was, Sam's liquor license, take that off the table. This alley is not.
Treated as a land issue.
I would say, if they weren't even here, if they hadn't brought this up and this came to my attention, this alley existed, I would still be recommending we vacate this alley, because we as a township are owning the land that they are privately accessing on with no other public, access down that street. This is nothing more than their access to their parking on the side of their building.
But somebody does get water through there, I think.
We heard that there's some utility line further down the road, I believe, but, and there are sheds that are located on here, people are using it as a private space, not paying taxes on it, but also, really, I don't know if we hold any liability holding land that we're not using. Again,
Alley
so,
actually goes all the way up to Hunt
yes,
Avenue.
it goes all the way across, yep, and it's unacceptable, it's unapproved. Yep.
So if we would vacate this, we vacate it all the way up to Hunt Alley?
Avenue.
The idea was to vacate the whole thing, maintaining any existing utility rights that may exist in the alley.
And further up, it would still all be fire company, or are there different landowners?
There are different ones, and as they would get surveys done and transact their property, it would get shown on the, title work as a vacated alley, and they would, collectively, everybody would receive their fair share of the land back. Generally, yeah. It was all part of the same subdivision, so yeah, everybody would be half the width.
So, just kind of glancing at the state regulations, first of all, you can't ever have more than 12 social affairs permits annually. There's a cap on those that I wasn't aware of. Secondly, although the chief may be writing his current license is limited to inside, I'm not seeing any.
And also asked you, like, how many you had,
Yeah.
like, in the last.
12 annually is limited.
But what I heard
That could be a lot.
from your testimony was that you didn't sleep half dozen or less already, currently, right? Two?
I've done 2 in 2 years.
I mean, when I first looked at it and I saw the picture, I kind of felt the same way as Wayne, that it was kind of a relative no-brainer from a traditional vacation standpoint. And I do think, given the chief's comments, we have control over the map that they would submit to us for the expansion. I think, Chief, that just glancing at the regs, I'll double check this, but you probably could actually extend to outside. I don't see any specific prohibition on a social fair, on a club license being limited to inside. Now, you might be right now, but I think you could expand it. But we could control that here with a hearing. And even if we did that, again, the social affairs permit is very clear that anything they did over there, they would have to have a social permit. The only exception being if you had a member having their own wedding, for like their own daughter or something, that does not appear to require a social affairs permit. And there's also very clear restrictions on, temporary guests, that's frowned upon. So, I do think there are plenty of controls. I do agree that definitely use variance for anything other than residential building we go up there. So I think overall, the vacation ordinance, I kind of agree with Wayne, it has merit, and I think the liquor license stuff can be controlled very clearly. And I think your concern is legitimate, and we all have the same concern. I think the fire department would hopefully, I think they always think it probably would be, but we could definitely control that. So this is, and they would have to reapply for the liquor license extension.
Is the liquor license?
I think the public, has to come like that. Okay? So.
Yes, but not as public as people like. Yeah. Kevin Melvin, it gets advertised, like, if they wanted to do an extension of, if there's a liquor license transfer, extension of premises, reduction of licensed premise, it's all done through a 12-page application, 4 original copies. The chief does the background check. It has to be noticed in the paper 1 week apart, 7 days apart, twice, back to back. But again, with the way things are nowadays, people don't get the paper, you don't read it, you don't know. But that's the legal requirements, that's what's required.
We could certainly ask the department when it was property owners within 200 feet, but you wrote
Just the agenda.
And I think that'd be reasonable. I think that's why.
They're required to advertise it, not us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there also any thought to the fire, on behalf of the fire company, to extend parking into that area? We have such a problem with parking on Maple Avenue when there's a big social event at the firehouse. I love the fire company. I was a member, I was in the ladies auxiliary, it's awesome. But parking is a terrible problem. Sometimes when there's a large event, people park on both sides of the street. The lot's full, people park over by the softball field. There are people parked on both sides, a car can't get down the street. God forbid there's a fire truck cannot go down the street. We need to have something done about that. If part of that property gets made into parking lot, I'll come help do it myself.
Is that, I appreciate that you're still in discussions, is that part of the discussions for the plans or any parking involved?
We don't really have any plans at the point in time. I think that was talked about, but we'll work with anybody. And I'm just trying to do some work
I think your point is well taken. I think I've spoken to the engineer about some other things. There may be a different solution about regards to some of the properties that the town owns, where we may even be able to do something to adjust that. We are, as the Open Space Committee, the chair was here earlier, we had to leave, but I'm on that committee as well. and there are some properties we're looking at possibly moving to different uses, and that there's one in the area that, so there's still more to come. I don't have an answer. They don't have a scope of their project yet. And that would be a use variance in itself because of, the zoning. So again, you guys would notify whatever it is, parking lot, building, whatever. Right now, all they can do is have a residence there. That's the only thing they're allowed to do.
Well, one thing we would do, even without the alley being abandoned, okay, we do own that property. So during events, we would advise people to park there instead of out in the hall. We would do that, if it's on the grass, as long as you haven't had a week of rain and it's muddy, we're not gonna let them exit out onto, Center Street. They're gonna have to come back out onto Maple. We won't allow them, to exit onto Center Street, but yes, we have talked about that, we would use that as an overflow parking, because there is no plans for it. As long as it hasn't rained and it's muddy. Yeah.
Carl is going to...
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We understand that.
Right.
Town council
Yeah,
said,
we would definitely
if the
try
alley
and
does
make
get
sure that that
vacated,
does not happen.
if we, as residents, could be notified when the liquor license is applied for, and then we can come back and kind of share our concerns.
From what I'm hearing, you guys aren't necessarily objecting outright, you're just concerned.
I just don't want the party central element.
And I can appreciate that, and I don't blame you one
I
bit.
in school, there's a lot of kids in the neighborhood. I just want to maintain the dynamics of what I believe in. Not,
I can appreciate that. I didn't know you stayed 78 in my backyard, went to an 88, and it's there now, and now I hear it, but I can appreciate just what you're saying.
and like I said, I've been buzzed in, enjoy some beverages at the firehouse too, so I'm not objecting to what they want to do, and I can appreciate that, but with the common courtesy that people live there. So, like
I think
said,
there's enough other regulating factors that the land use board is gonna have the final say of the end use of whatever they do propose, whether it's a year from now, 5 years from now. So I think there are ways to oversee it through that board, definitely.
So, again, like I said, I would just ask if the alley gets vacated, that when it comes to effect, the liquor license or other items that come up, if the residents do.
Does council object if we would put this on the table for time to review and reflect till next month or a future time?
I would like to table this, move that we table this, or we have a closed public. First, let's close public hearings. So moved.
Any other public comment? Does anybody in the audience have public comment in regards to this?
Okay, we have a first and a second. So-
Who's the second? I'm sorry.
Second is
Ms. Gray.
Stephen.
Okay. Gray? Melvin?
And this is closing public comment, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Van Leeuwen Slack?
Yes. All right. I would like to table this, not even for next month, but I would like from the association, you gave us more information tonight, but I want a more definitive plan. Like, can you come up with at least some sort of a timetable for when things would occur? Like, you want to take down the house, for example, do you think that might happen in 3 years, that we would have the money to be able to do that? And I understand you're going to put up another pole barn or something. Things like that, something more definitive. Also, the other thing too is there will be more costs involved. It's not just vacating the alley, but also, when you vacate the firehouse, even though you still own it, the fire company can expand, you still own the firehouse, which means that we fund the fire company, and that, again, our bills would increase in terms of utilities and things like that. There's just all these questions that need to be answered. So, I'm giving you more time to come up with more answers.
My question would be, as you've done with Shimer Store, okay, you've written in a letter now, because they did not follow the timeline that they had suggested to you. Are you gonna hold us to this timeline? Because everything depends on capital. And I think
That's a little different situation, Bob. That was a deed property. It's similar, but that was a deed restriction. It was auctioned with the intent that that property would be rehabbed back to tax. Right. I mean, that's a little bit different. I don't think anybody up here is gonna say, hey, you know, you didn't have the money, we don't care, we want you to adhere to your timeline. I think we just want more of a overall, you know, this is our intention. If we get the money, this is the first thing we'd like to do. If we get the money, this is the next thing we'd like to do, some kind of progression. And I think all of us up here can appreciate that it's all, funding, related. If you don't have the money, obviously, you're not gonna do, you know, the next step.
The association only gives the fire company like what, $500 a year, so you must have some.
It varies. It varies.
Seems like every year I get $500, so.
No, it's very higher than that.
The rest of the dinners, I guess.
But in the same token, well, I can't.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, you know, so you must be saving money somehow, you accumulated money for a house, you know, so that's a good thing.
I mean, just a discussion. I'm okay with taking action right now. I think there's enough checks and balances that will allow for, things to move forward.
I moved to table it, and yeah, well,
My only other concern at this point, I'd like to have Councilman Babinski weigh in on this as well.
Let me procedurally say something here. Motion to table without any further public, not close public comments, not any further public comment procedure. We can, advise the public by motion that we're adjourning the deliberation and final vote to the next meeting. We can only do that for a specific date. So I think that's what we should do. At that time, when Councilman Kavinsky's here, we can vote to just turn this down or vote.
but if they have not given us any more information, how can you say next month?
That's what you have to do procedurally.
You can't table it, that it can just be tabled until we get what we want?
Not indefinitely procedure.
No.
Indefinitely table, otherwise the public, you know, there's no sunshine.
It's a good reason to keep coming.
Bob, how long would you guys be able to have some kind of general outline? Like we just talked about, if we have the money, we'll do this, if we have the money, we'll do that, by next month or not?
I'm not a trustee, you know, I could approach trustees, they're the ones that require the time.
Kyle, you're the one that brought this, can the association do that, I suppose?
I could, like that, trustees.
Why don't you just make your motion to table to the next meeting? And we can address it from there, and we have an announcement for the public, and that way they know specifically when to come back to see what we're gonna do.
But I don't want to be
That's
held to
required.
the next meeting unless
Well, I'm not-
Kyle needs more time.
Then at that meeting, anybody who comes back, you can say, oh, you know, we have to do it meeting by meeting. Or if you want, we could do adjourn it.
I think I have testimony, again, considering.
We're not reopening votes, so I mean, we could make a motion to reopen votes. I don't think we should do that.
Even though there's more evidence to come forward.
Well, the evidence is not indirect, it's not directly related to the location, so we can just, that's why we make the motion to turn this to our regular meeting in October. That procedure, but what you do with it at that point, again, up to you, but if you do it not, then the public knows when we hear it. That's what procedurally kind of requires.
What, if we don't receive the information?
Then you can buy it then.
We can turn words down altogether at that point. Okay.
Yeah, well, I want to know impact on the fire company too, not just the association.
Yeah, but that's kind of separate, Mary, from the vacation of the alley, that's kind
No,
of...
the vacation of the alley will lead to all of these things. You say it's the first step, but yes, maybe it is. But then from there, it leads to a whole bunch of
No,
different things.
I don't understand, it's a domino effect, it,
So, Mary, you okay making a motion to table this to the next meeting?
Well, you are pressuring me into making it until the
I'm
next
telling you,
meeting. I don't want
you
to.
have to do that, yeah.
if you make the motion, I will support it, Mary, for
All
the
right,
next meeting.
so there we go. Okay, Kyle, work your little buns off.
That's a second, now you're.
I I'd like an opportunity to walk over there so I understand. the
You'll have that time if we do this.
Yes,
Ingrid.
that's why I said, I drove by,
That's
I
right.
drove down the alley as far as I could go, I took that street. I looked from the other side.
One, we have first from Mary, seconded by the mayor, to table, adjudication of this ordinance to the next public meeting.
Okay.
So we need a roll call.
Kevin, before you go that far, I'm a trustee on the association.
You are.
There's no possible way, from me being in the meetings with the trustees, that we can have an answer for you within a year of what that property's gonna be done. I gotta be honest with you.
Well, let's
Not
get first
pursuing
and second.
anything,
Understood.
okay?
Try to do your best.
Listen, Mary, we are, but all we looked at,
You're still very
we were
general
talking
and
about
vague.
is, and it could happen, we could go for this to have an outside, be able to have your beer or your alcohol outside for a cornhole tournament. And if it rains, we're back inside anyway. If we have a quake tournament, that might be out there once a year. If it rains, it's going, the fire truck, we're getting pulled out and it's gonna be inside the station. We really have absolutely no plans on that property. I don't care what anybody says as a resident outside or a member that's in that association
Well, like,
talking.
yeah, but there's like
We got all
the
of
sheds
them.
there, like, you know, so maybe that'd be the first thing you'd wanna do is take down those sheds, and then maybe there's things that you would need to do. I don't know if you intend to use that house at all for anything, or whether, you know, that.
The house,
those
you've
types
seen the
of-
house,
You will,
I think the first thing you gotta think about is knocking it down.
The motion is just to table the ordinance, Jeff. We're not mitigating anything particular.
No, I just wanted to be honest with you. Kyle is the president of the association,
yeah.
but I am trustee, and we sit in on the meetings. And it's absolutely, everything that we've talked about, there's never been, this is what we're looking to do, this is what we're
Well,
looking to
it
do.
shouldn't be so general, there should be a little more planning involved here. It's a big undertaking.
But the biggest, the first part was to be able to.
Well-
All right, hold on. We got a motion in a second.
That's true.
We need to call the roll and put it to bed. So Wanda, would you call the roll for us, please?
Yes, Gray,
Yes.
Melvin, Van Loo,
Yes.
Slack.
Yes.
Jeff, just do the best you can.
Once we vacate the alley, then we have no say in anything. At this point, we still have the alley, so we could get more.
All right, moving on. We have some motions here with the addition of the, request to look for bids to repair the tennis courts at Sal Vangeli, I should call it Sal Vangeli Park, can I, in remembrance of him?
So the house is going to come down.
Mr. Mayor, the soil conservation application.
Yes, we need to make a motion, another motion to, have Wayne submit that to the, for the new fields, for the, plan to soil conservation.
What is it, to have
Wayne,
Wayne?
you can address that, can you give it to Wanda, what she needs to help?
To authorize the signature and submission of the sports field project, to the county soil conservation.
Okay.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, with addition of 2 more. So there would be 11 motions. Does anybody need to carve any out? Take
Do we
it separately?
carve out the corner?
I thought that's what you had said, Councilman Melvin.
FEMA,
Just table that one. Table that already.
to do more due
Is that
diligence.
the donation?
Right. So there's 10 motions in total, then. Does anybody have any issues with any
No, I'm
others?
just glad to see that there's applications for memberships to the fire company, and one of them is actually a woman, that's cool.
We're amending the fire.
Look at that, Councilwoman, an application for, one.
Chief, just out of curiosity, is school gonna have, trunk or treat? You know?
Yeah, the 25th.
25th?
Yeah, that's the 31st. That really-
You're gonna get rid of the old Crown Vic like we talked, I see then?
I want to get rid of them all.
Well,
Yeah, but I would like to donate the one to this, to the, VOTEC program, for the law enforcement program they have there.
okay.
What do they do with it?
They use it, they train just to to be a police officer. So they go out and they have, they do motor vehicle stops in the parking lot, practice that. They go out, actually take the car then too and help within Warren County and do, parking, and traffic control for events, throughout all of Warren County, and they take the car to use it.
Can we get it right off?
I can't answer that.
What about the parking signs for servicing? That was-
Yes, it's there, I just, honestly, I didn't push the button to twist the order yet.
Oh, so it's okay, it's gonna go, we don't need a motion?
No, it's for what? No, for the veterans parking. I honestly,
Okay.
I didn't press the button to say purchase.
Yeah, but I was gonna say I would pay for them, remember?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
I support that.
Huh?
I would support that.
Well, yeah, it's not gonna come out of township money.
Yeah, it's $40.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have
Can
to,
I get it cash?
sure, I'm gonna order it on Amazon out of my account.
You want to make your first motion as
I can do it now.
to adopt these 10 motions?
10 motions.
I make motion to adopt these 10 motions.
There we go.
I'll second, go ahead.
I'll second.
Okay. Gray,
Yes.
Melvin,
Yes.
Vanlue,
Yes.
Swack.
Yes. Any other public comments at this time?
We have executive session for the...
Pardon?
This, I think this is what we're gonna talk about.
Well, I mean, I'd like to talk about it because tonight was our deadline.
We need to talk about the river. That's where the,
That would be public comment.
that's the public.
That would be public comment,
And that's why, they've been waiting a long time.
we're on our last public comment, so come on up, Susan. I got all your emails last
I
night,
think we all did.
forwarded some of them to the chief. We realize that it's an ongoing issue, it has been, it needs to be addressed moving forward. Thankfully, we're at the end of the summer, and hopefully it will cease, shortly, at least for this calendar year. But moving forward, it's something that we need to deal with. And I'm going to just give us a brief overview, everybody up here kind of knows, just for the public.
And also, can I just add, we've already authorized, this council already authorized, the chief and I are going to be working on strengthening our parking ordinance down there. And we're going to try to create a resident versus non-resident fee structure, and kind of really ramp that up to make it, kind of discourage non-resident parking down there. I know that's not a complete solution, but I just want to let you know that's already in the
We're
works.
also going to be in touch with the railroad because it's their property and we have no say in what happens on their property, as disgusting as it is.
Yeah, if I could just, I would like to have two things in my mind here. So I would like to thank the efforts that are already being made. In early August, I was able to speak with Mayor Slack and Chief Bob about some of the issues. I waited specifically until summer was over to see what the pattern would transpire, to see what would happen. Every weekend, from July 4th through Labor Day weekend, there were campers. So what we find ourselves, we're revisiting the ordinance, of course, that was put in place in 2015 because of what had happened prior to 2015 with up to 34 cars, in years prior. This year, there were 25 cars parked on my personal property this year, which I'd never had before. As people were bringing their big SUVs with their trailers along for their boats and their jet skis. So it's lengthening out the area where people are parking. Not only are they lengthening out this area that people are parking, there are now 4 campsites, not 2. 4. I invite all of council to please come down, walk the area, and see the trash built. Right now, the trash has been sitting there since July 4th. It has been building up since July 4th. It's still coming up. Labor Day weekend, there were 25 cars, there were 60 to 100 people. And this is the amount of people who camp on their railroad property. 60 to 100 people can be down there with no consequence whatsoever. I would love to get the railroad involved as residents, as the town council, with the railroad help. We all need to work together to fight this. It's getting worse. Not going to get better unless we I say because it affects us, it's kind of
I'm Shari Beth, and I live on 130 River Road, and I've been there 12.5 years, and I've just seen it get worse and worse every year. They have campfires down there, you know, I tried to do a campfire on my property, you know, like, oh.
We have the fire company come.
You know, seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Bob, do you have jurisdiction over campfires on railroad?
Absolutely, you're not allowed to have an open burn.
Any open burning anywhere in the state regardless,
Right, there's
correct?
about 5 or 6 big nice campfires.
Yeah, but the fire company has to be called, they have to
Well,
notify.
But I've always been told that there's no jurisdiction down there, and there's, well, you can't enforce it because, well, we can't go and force everybody who has a campfire someplace in the yard. I mean, I understand that it's very difficult to do
You
that.
just heard it from my chief's mouth.
Okay, well.
Open burn is illegal in the state of New Jersey.
Without a permit, right, Bob, you can still, if that's the
Without
law.
a permit, must apply for a
We have one in church.
Well, we're hoping to get, probably the next summer, we are going to have this issue because it's massive. There are children wandering the railroad tracks, people wandering the railroad tracks.
So somebody gets hurt and then.
Right, Jerry,
I may know already.
Jerry would like to tell you what happens.
Figure when it's gonna get quiet, go sit down, have a moment.
When you drive through, like, if you can barely drive through.
Well, in the one picture, I saw cars parked on one side, the school bus coming the other, and it didn't look like there was enough room for the school bus to navigate
The
the...
winery train bus missed my car.
Oh, that's what it was, the winery train bus?
3 inches away from my car. I could not move over it any further to the right. There were cars, the telephone pole, as people are parking, they get out, they walk, they get out, they walk up the bank of the river, or the property, and boulders are rolling down to the edge of the road. Can't get out.
You know, people are using the river, or, I don't know, digging holes for the trees.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Can any of that come under the Department of Health?
Board of Health?
That's what I was gonna say, exactly, where are they going to the bathroom, that's another issue, then it rains and.
Even though it's city property?
I mean, we're talking, they come out of.
I can talk, I'll actually see somebody from the Board of Health tomorrow night in the county. I'll ask.
Yeah, there's all these even recently, big deal, big issue.
I have a county meeting tomorrow night. I'll be seeing
Those still.
So, the other day, Councilwoman Gray mentioned something like this. She had mentioned that in Colorado, there is a law where that in order to camp, you need specific permission from the owner.
Camp and congregate too, you should have the owners.
You need written permission.
Written permission.
So I guess my question to council and the chief is, if we get the railroad on board to agree to that provision, would that give you the jurisdiction and to say, your guys, someone's down there, you have written permission, if you don't, sign off?
Yeah, but it would have to be an ordinance, so that we had something to be able to enforce.
And I, because it's, we know to get a hold of Kim
With
Moran.
stores, what is that called that gives you permission to do things where stores are? Is that a 39 or something?
Oh, that's a quasi-public but we have, I mean, here's the thing is, if the cars are parked there and somebody doesn't have a permit for overnight parking, the only thing we can do is issue a ticket. We're not allowed to tow the car. We can't, you know what I mean, we can document it and write a ticket. So our hands are tied there. You know, if we're, right, so if we're gonna, like you talked about DEP with that, well, this is on the weekends. We're not getting anybody to come out. So if there's nobody to inspect anything or do anything when it's happening, you call on Monday morning, what are they gonna go inspect? They're gonna go down there, they're gonna see that there's 4 campgrounds, that we've seen, we've gone down and see it, all kinds of trash. They're gonna see holes dug that maybe there's some feces in it. But what are they, who are they gonna get? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, it's...
CSI out there, huh?
It's...
Yeah, unless it's happening when they're there, or they're there when it's happening.
Right.
They've got nobody to
Or if you guys see public
You need to make
fishing or whatever.
Right, but by the
It's gonna
time,
be telling us happening.
but here, if we get up there, and we get there, by the time we get there, everybody throws their beer cans, everybody puts on their best behavior, because they see the cops on the top of the hill. They have an advantage, they're down below, we have to get out of our car that they already see, then we have to go down the embankment, and by that time, they hide anything they have, they,
Can't you come?
put on their Sunday best, and they're not doing anything that they, and we can't enforce trespassing, because we don't have permission from the
Well,
railroad
that's what I'm
to
saying.
do so.
So what do we need to do to get that kind of permission, then? What is it?
Hope they cooperate, hope the railroad cooperates.
Have you had any interaction with Cotty at all, or not, Chief?
Yeah, and we have it, I talked to Sergeant Cozy says, we do have something from the railroad, but it's only if it's for, like, specific, like, we have to call them, but they're not gonna give us a carte blanche to say, hey, everywhere on the Delaware River, we want nobody there. Because they want people they don't want to take that away from people. Because they believe it's, people should be able to go down there and fish. Because if they take it away from the people that are camping, but not take it away from the fishermen, well, are they gonna do that? You
I
can't
think
do that.
I think that's a fair ask.
Yeah, and that's where the ordinance, how the ordinance really came about in 2015, that, I guess council at that time was simply making the entire road no parking to anybody, zip, zero, nobody. And, some of us residents and other fishermen who, have come out to enjoy the river for the last 20, 30, 50 years even, said, hey, why punish them? Because they're here and they're clean and they're not leaving filth and trash behind. So the ordinance was designed to hopefully accommodate our local people. But instead, what has happened is these people are coming from 2 and 3 hours away to camp on private property and trash our community. They have absolutely no respect for our community, none.
They drive here during the week.
Pardon me?
They drive here to come get the permits during the week.
Yes.
They read the ordinance.
They read the ordinance.
They know exactly what they have to do, because each car has to be registered. They bring all their cars.
They bring their cars, one thing that we also have figured out is that on a Friday night, you might see, ooh, there's 3 cars. You say, oh, that's not a lot of people, 3 cars. But there's no permits on cars. By Saturday morning, ooh, there's 5 or 6 cars. Well, when did they come? Well, they came Friday night. By Saturday afternoon, there's 13 cars. By Saturday night, there's 25 to 30 cars. We think what they're doing is they're parking their cars down the Holland Township boat ramp, and they're car pulling up, because you see cars unloading 6 and 8 people at a time. Well, we have all the people down on the riverbank, 100 people, but the cars don't support it until nighttime. And I can guarantee those cars do not have permits. Like, I've gone down the road at night, they don't have permits on them.
Yeah, and we've issued, but
I know.
there's nothing we can do besides issue a ticket.
On there, the permit does, so I've seen, are 2 and 3 years old.
Oh, they pay right on line. It's a minimal fine. So they don't, it's like going down to Hoboken and getting a parking ticket in one of the parking spots.
Probably our parking tickets cheap.
I don't know.
It's cheap for them, they have parking ticket because,
$30.
Cost them more to go camping somewhere for a night than that.
That's not a campground, it's facilities.
Well, no, I agree, I'm just saying it's cheaper than them to pay a ticket.
But there's gotta be a cut down or something, people.
I think the Board of Health could be of some help here. Like I said, I'm gonna talk to Mike Connection tomorrow night.
Definitely about waters, when these things close to water.
Have you even remotely thought about fishing game at all, or they can't help you?
It's railroad property. They'll go down during fishing time to see if people have
Fishing lights?
fishing licenses, but
That's it.
they're not working at night. They work during the day.
Right.
So, I think, to council's point, we need to, I think you can see from everybody up here, we need to strengthen, we need to give it some teeth. Working with the railroad, taking a number of different avenues,
Keene, I've worked with him on other projects for the railroad, so I'll work with the chief. I'm gonna get a hold of Keene, kind of go over Chris Cotty's head. I'm not saying anything negative about him one or the other, I'm saying Keene is the owner of that road. And I think if he may not know just how this is going on now. And so I'm gonna go to that level, I'm gonna try to work with the chief to get him to give a specific permission to enforce trespass for camping. Because that, I think we can really distinguish. If we should be, you think, I mean, pretty much tell camper at least from a fishing standpoint.
Right, but what I'm saying is, we have to be, in my opinion, we have to be careful there because you do have fishermen, I don't know if they go down there anymore because of what they see.
Yeah, well, I don't know, local times, they think we can't even get down there, and so people would do, they don't wanna come back anymore.
But there are fishermen that like to go down there at night, and they do a campfire. They, you know, a lot of them stay overnight, you know, to do the fishing once in a while, so we do have to balance it to make sure that we're not gonna have to enforce it on everyone, and then ruin.
That's
You can see if somebody's fishing or somebody's just
But then here's what, so if we go down there and charge trespassing to the people that are coming in from like the city, right? And we tell them, they're gonna wanna know what their ball is. Because the next time that they go down there, they're gonna have fishing balls. So, because
then ask for their fishing license.
they have to get the registration. And they go to Walmart, and they can get it in 15 minutes, and then they bring it back.
Maybe unfortunately, we might be at the point that, you know, getting permission from Keene to just say, look, no, we're gonna enforce no trespassing for everybody after dark, just like you do with public parks. And it's unfortunate, I get it, because it sounds like, I didn't realize that, chief, but I can get it now that you say it, that there might be some legitimate fishermen that would.
Straight bass and fish guys will fish till 2, 3 in the morning.
But you know what? What I think we could probably work out with Keene with those specific people, he could give them a letter of permission, then we don't have an issue.
We can also.
Can't do that many down.
We can also utilize discretion.
Right.
Because if our goal to protect the community is to weed out the people that are coming that don't belong in the community, and they're ruining the community, once we enforce that and hit it hard, well then, they're not gonna come back, just like in Penn Pump. When finally over Penn Pump in Pennsylvania, they had enough, they kicked everybody out, well, they went somewhere else. The fire department just told me that they just had 10, 15 people trying to set up something down there on the creek. Yeah.
Where was this at, Chief?
At Huntington. Yeah, right? It was, yeah. They got kicked out of there.
And then it's like it'll become an issue all over the place.
We gotta crack down, get the word out.
Right. If we can do a strict enforcement, starting in the spring of next year, when they're gonna start thinking of doing it, and we no longer issue these permits.
Right.
Well, then we can hit it hard, get them out of here,
And we'll raise all the fines.
raise everything, but then we can also use discretion for the individuals that are fishing. Because we will be able to tell.
Right.
It's just, I personally think making an ordinance to separate it puts us out a little bit on a liability.
No, I'm talking about just getting permission overall from Keene to enforce no trespass.
And it has to be down in the whole road. You can't use that section.
Well, the
Then
railroad
they'll
runs the
move.
whole length.
Then they'll move.
They'll move down.
Down.
I mean, it would pertain to anything that's railroad property up to that area, I would assume,
Correct, right.
the whole length. It would be the whole length, whatever's railroad property.
Within Cohasset Township.
Right, in Cohasset Township.
All right.
Can we,
We're gonna jump in.
just one immediately, right here, is that there's still trash down there from,
Oh, fine, that's.
can we get the prison, who?
It's private property, it's the same deal as,
Same thing as up top.
up to Vermans. They have to give permission.
We did get
for it.
permission from the mayor, so I can't speak to that too.
Right, if we get permission from Keene that
The county, yeah.
they can go on the property,
There's some trash that
We got
goes
that.
in.
but I have to ask first, I don't know
Okay.
if they're gonna.
Allow them, that's an easy escape.
Are you? Check it out.
If you drive through, you don't see the trash so much. These people are smart enough to say, ooh, we have a big black trash bag. We're gonna put it up behind that tree 20 feet off the road, and up behind that boulder. It's not laying right on the road. Well, now there is some right along the road. There's a broken chair, like a camp chair that one of those folding things. There's a little flotation device that busts out a hole in it or something, it's on the roadside. There's shoes, there's shirts, there's an oil can, a big blue oil can, who knows what to use that for.
So you have pictures of all of this?
I have,
And you have a lot of documentation and dates and all that.
There's a lot of trash on the roadside, which you have to walk to see it, because it's behind the trees. And yes, there's a lot of stuff down below the railroad grade that I would think that Moringa would be horrified to see all the trash that's being tossed. Looks like it's hidden from the road, but it's not from up above. That engineer on that train, you can see down there. The people who are riding those trains can see down there. I think he'd be horrified to see things that he's seeing having that people built on this area. I just think he would. I have to accept them, I don't have to.
I'll let council do it, and if we can get government permission, we can have the prisoners, maybe commissioners, some others, to start cleaning that up.
I'm pretty sure we figured out that my email last night.
Yep.
I sent it all in Wanda. Everybody saw it. But yeah,
Exactly, and I think we'll get it.
And a lot of speeding up and down the road, a lot of them.
You guys want to make money from the township, you just sit on the road all day.
When we say to people, the car caravan, we know when they're coming. Oh, just 3 or 4 or 5 cars going by. A while later, whoop, there's 3 more cars. They're all traveling tax. Traveling tax. We always wonder, when people bring their food and trash and stuff with them, why aren't they taking that? Because they're shopping in the area. They're not bringing it with them. They're shopping at Walmart, bringing it with them to Walmart, and leaving that trash behind. You don't have to bring it with them. You didn't bring it. It's beyond.
I think we have a plan here to try to address it. We'll keep it in the back of our mind, see if we can do anything with the trash. It is on the road right away. And you'll follow a routine to try to get some permission to enforce some things.
He says yes, and then we're going to go in. I know. Hopefully by next month.
I have to say, over the summertime, you see families, responsible families with children that come in.
How much is the check? $2,000? Okay.
And I was wondering if they try to follow up and try to do something to curtail this, and I would say,
Get him to sign that
No
one.
respect for the land.
We need a check for $31.25.
And that would happen in the state park or wherever that.
And they're also cutting trees to make their campfires that they're not supposed to have. They're down there cutting trees, I hear. Yeah, right.
All right, well,
But people driving by at 6:11, and I saw somebody, other people I talked to said, oh, we thought there was a homeless in here.
Seriously, across the river.
Driving down.
That's part of the motion we made.
all right, thank you. Any other public comments? Seeing none, we don't need any executive session.
We're not gonna address the agreement.
Oh, yeah, we should really talk, let's just briefly talk about that quick. We had sent Greenwich a letter saying that we wanted some kind of action out of them tonight in regards to the shared service agreement, which has been out there for, 8-10 months at least, with no settlement.
April, I'm going to say that's
It was the 12th, they sent the...
And we sent them a do or die letter, I guess you would call it, and gave tonight as our deadline, that if we did not hear from them, we were going to...
We were giving them 2. On June 4, I sent them a letter saying, hey, we're coming up on a year on a month-to-month basis, and we wanted to hear by our next council meeting, June 18th. Never heard. Mike Lavery told me we were going to hear. The chief's been told by people we're going to hear. You've been told by people we're going to hear. We hear nothing. It doesn't even come up in the meetings. September 5, pursuant to the direction of the last meeting, they had a meeting, I waited to see if we heard nothing. I sent them a letter. In this letter, I specifically indicated that the month-to-month was done, because I think we had to formally terminate that before we could consider, doing anything in terms of unilateral changes to the payment schedule. But I indicated that we were terminating it immediately. That was your direction. And at this meeting, we were going to discuss implementing, I said, a monthly cost share based on percentage of tickets, which would be basically 60/40. Whether you guys want to do that or not, I don't know, or whether you want to, I don't know what we do at this point. I understand that generally, Kevin, we do control all the funds, so I guess if you want to implement something like that, we could put them on notice if that's what we're doing.
I mean, our bigger ask in the request was,
How does that shape up, Chief? If we did just do a pure 60/40 split, that's probably even better than that's probably more favorable for us than what we proposed.
No,
We proposed 75-25.
75/25?
plus we were looking for more, upfront.
Well, why don't we,
That was the bigger thing.
at least, why don't we just, we can't control that, because they would have to give us that, but why don't we implement the 75/25? That's in our draft agreement.
Can we just put forward what's in our agreement? Or we haven't heard from them, taking it as written?
I mean, I don't think we propose the
Yeah,
upfront
no
money
news
would
is
have
good
to.
news.
No, but I'm saying,
But the split, I think we can start implementing, because right now, we're not doing a 75/25 split.
No, it's a 50/50
It's a
split, right?
50/50 split.
Or you could do a 75-25, but hold the 25 until you hear something,
Right.
so that they're not getting any funding from it until, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we could put that.
Right, put 25% aside, so that there's record that shows 75-25.
Because I don't want to undercut,
And then-
I don't want to undercut what the chief put in his, if it's 75/25, I think we should go with that.
100%.
And you're right, I think it's a great idea, chief, to keep the 25% even in reserve.
Just gotta make sure we don't give them anything until we hear something.
Perfect. Motion.
Yeah, I'm sure if we cut the money off, then they're gonna, what's going on here, then we're gonna wanna talk then.
They don't give an answer.
Yeah, and even if it's not the answer, at least we'll get an answer, rather than being strung along,
Right.
Losing money.
losing money.
That effective September 1st? Since we're in the month of September.
Because you're not having given any money now yet anyway, right? Because it's done at the end of the month, isn't
By
it?
the end of the month.
Right.
Legally,
I actually have to confirm that with Cindy. I don't know if she does it after each court session, but I know we get the reports at the end of the month. I don't know if you know.
I don't know. I just see the report.
She might do drops after every court session.
Oh, yeah, she might with the bank, yeah.
I'll follow up with her tomorrow.
I just want to indicate that, that of the, for the month of September going forward, it's 75/25 split, we're holding your 25.
Do it effective today, in case there was money that was given.
I'm okay with that.
I'll move it.
Can we, word it so that it's, whichever is more applicable. So whether it's September 1st, or if it hasn't been paid effective today. Because there's a court session this week. You follow what I'm saying? Some contingent upon.
I'll just make it any further distributions,
Any
wherever they got
further-
their, any further distributions are 75/25, and furthermore, you're not getting your 25, we're gonna escrow that, so.
They'll put it in an escrow account
Until we resolve what you're doing.
negotiations continue.
So from a logistical perspective,
Right.
we have to communicate this to Cindy.
Correct.
Because where does that account sit? We have to open an escrow account?
I moved it.
You moved it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the CFO, the CFO would be able to do an escrow.
Yeah.
And then Cindy would just have to provide that
I
to.
second now.
I'll second it, that's not a problem.
Okay. Ray?
Yes.
Melvin?
Yes.
San Lou?
Yes.
Slack?
Yes. No further business,
I
anything?
will adjourn. I second.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.